Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESL One Cologne. 2 teams down, and now we get to see what Na'Vi and Space Soldiers can deliver, as already they are sitting on that 1-1 sweet spot. No one's going home in this game, but one will be put on death's door, sitting on that very scary 2. VP are on that pile already, and we're going to be seeing if Na'Vi are going to be closer after this one. Turkey have already impressed. In fact, their first game, albeit after a trip and a stumble in the second half, but Space Soldiers in good stead. To talk about it, we have Freiburg and we have Sponge. Now, gentlemen, where do you want to start with this one? Do we start with that, well, exceptional break from the boys from Space Soldiers? Not only have they qualified for ESL One Cologne, they've come into this one all guns blazing and knocked Top Dogs SK on their bottoms.
It was a big discussion point from Adam, especially before the tournament started, about how Space Soldiers can come in and if they play a very strat-heavy style of Counter-Strike, that they can catch teams off guard. And based off that same thread that we've been running with for a lot of teams, that they have a chance to reinvent themselves and present a new face here in Cologne. And they did exactly that, making sure they didn't choke. That's another thing. You know, that was a very tight game in the end there. It could have gone either way. Their money was actually quite crippled, and they got across that line. So that's a big win for them. To go into the second game, which I'm not going to say they were a favourite, but to lose that match when they could have been 2-0 against a team who's quite is having a rough time right now, you know, that would be more disappointing for them than anything from day one.
Yeah, and you know, we saw the interview with Major with Stunner over at the MMC, where the players are hanging out in Cologne prior to those playoffs, and his words were that of confidence. It was not necessarily a map they wanted to play, rocking Cash of all maps. Does this kind of show us, you know, the future is bright roster?
I would like to say so, yeah. I mean, I've been practicing against them a lot, and I mean, I know that they're playing like practice games with the team, and then they're playing FPL, they're playing like deathmatch, they're doing everything. They're playing so much CS, and it's an up and coming team. So I think it's a team that this could be the brink of like their breakthrough tournament, right? We already see them, as I saw, beating SK yesterday. We'll see if they can put up a show against Na'Vi tonight.
So in contrast, actually, this is an interesting one. Just talking about how much Space Soldiers are playing Counter-Strike. In contrast, you know, Guardian recently released a tweet stating that he is going to stop playing any other video game. He's going to put all of his, mind and soul into Counter-Strike once again. And I mean, that raises the question. There isn't always necessarily a correlation, right, between the amount of Counter-Strike you play and the success you find.
No, and I think one of the things is, and Adam can probably attest to this, is you can sometimes play too much Counter-Strike, right?
Yep.
There can be points where you actually need that release, and the thing is, we love computer games.
We
so
do.
Our release is still being on a PC. That doesn't mean we should be prosecuted if we want to play H1Z1 or PUBG or Hearthstone, you know, any really fun games like that. So you need that reset as well, and it keeps you fresh on the computer. It doesn't make everything feel so awkward. I know when I used to play other FPS games and then go back to CS, that it actually made my aim sometimes feel a bit more crisp, which it doesn't really say a lot when we're talking about me.
Talking entirely from myself, but I mean, a lot of people have kind of agreed with that. The fact that, you know, when you take a holiday, you know, you haven't touched the PC for a while, and then you sit back down and suddenly everything feels like brand new, and your eyes are like, what's happening? This feels incredible. I mean, the idea of taking a break benefiting you, has that been a discussion you've thought about before?
Yeah, I mean, over the years, you have to get some vacation. You have to be off CS as well. Yeah. I mean, it's only not about that, it's motivation as well, because you're going to sit inside and you're going to play like CS maybe 40, 50 hours per week. And you need motivation, you need proper practice, you need also, but that's what I like to say. You need to play other games. You need to do other stuff. You can't just sit by your PC. And I think that's very important, because when you're here, it's going to be fun, right? So you got to make sure you're feeling on top. Even the team chemistry, like outside of the game. I mean, go out with the team, have a dinner, like enjoy the team as well. Not only focus on the individual, like sitting in and playing all the time. So I think that's a big aspect of
camaraderie.
Team games.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting with the Na'Vi storyline, right? They kind of did that within like a hyperbolic time chamber type thing. They did a boot camp, and then they went to Guardian's wedding, which was kind of like a fun release and very good emotions for everyone.
The dinner he's talking about.
And now they come in here. And yesterday, the trio that you need to be standing out for these guys of Flamey, Guardian, and Old Mate Simple, they stood up in that game versus Cloud9. I think they were the top fraggers, the three of them.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. So if they can carry that through to today, there's every chance that this Na'Vi could be on the way back up, but it's still a very rocky road.
A rocky road, no doubt, and of course Simple, one of the players from Na'Vi, is going to be desperate to try and go ahead and get into another grand final. Both ESL ones he has attended. He has managed to make it to the grand final. We'll see if he can make it 3 in a row. So far, not so great for them though. But let's bring up the odds. I'm intrigued to know, well, they've given us one. So a real edge towards Na'Vi, you know what?
I think it should be a bit closer in my eyes. I think at Space Soldiers, after their performance against SK. I'd like to see them, especially like Na'Vi, they are shaky, right? I mean, they did put out the big win yesterday against Cloud9 in overtime, and I'm hoping that win in that long overtime will be like a team, like a bit like, oh, okay guys, we actually won a very close game, going into the next game with a bit more confidence. So I think this will be a very interesting game. As Chad said before, Space Soldiers, I'm hoping they will still be playing tactical, not really relying too much on maybe Xantares, who is, I mean, the star of the team.
Yep. And I mean, if you look at those scoreboards, it does feel very earnest. And you know, every time I'm heading on to like HLTV and I'm like scrolling through Space Soldiers results, that name does tend to be on the very top of that list. And again, he stands 50 frags. This is a talent, and I think his story is quite interesting, Chad. I'm sure you're familiar with it as well in terms of his reluctance to abandon the Turkish teams.
Yeah, and you know, maybe the language barrier plays a bit of a role there, but he's definitely one of those guys who could have, if he wanted to, pursued the language and gone elsewhere, because he is one of those stars, and he's in the new breed, right? I would consider the way that I play Counter-Strike the old breed, but these new kids, we have Robs, we've got Xantares, I would say Stewie's definitely part of that new breed as well. They are pure CSGO players in my mind, right?
Yeah.
So they play the game based off of how, when they first started, it's like, oh, this is CS. But for me, CS is like wall bangs and, like, you know, having the crazy deagle from Source and bunny hopping and all that kind of stuff. So that's still hardwired in my old man brain.
Sure.
These kids don't have that. They've just got, this is the game that I know and I'm going to be the best at it.
It's not cluttered with, used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It's simply, this is how you do that.
Do you know how bad it is? Like when you'd have a situation, you're like, man, that sucks. Like, I could have done this. And it's like, well, no, not in this game. You know, stop being an idiot.
Well, there is definitely discussion to be had at a later date about like the old guard, new guard, and where the differences lie. That's something I'd love to talk about further. But right now, it's map time. And Adam, of course, alongside Chad, will kind of get into this one. Now, what have we seen from them so far? I'm afraid this is a bit of a memory game. We saw, of course, Na'Vi played Train versus C9.
Na'Vi usually don't want to play Cash, and I'm guessing that they will. Yeah, they ban Cash against the Space Soldiers, especially Space Soldiers beating SK on Cash, right? I mean, if I were Space Soldiers now, I'd probably get to ban Train, the last ban here, please, because Train was the map that Na'Vi, I feel that Na'Vi is most comfortable on. They're not going to remove it. So, Na'Vi instantly is going to pick Train.
Nuke's not a map that I think the Space Soldiers really like, but it's also not one that Na'Vi are too fantastic on either. They've dabbled with it a bit more in recent times, but it's not one of their go-tos. And you said yesterday with Train that you felt it's one of the maps that Na'Vi just knows how to play. Yeah,
it's their go-to map. It's always been. Na'Vi, for me, that's Train, right? So we saw it yesterday. They beat Cloud9 in a long battle. I'm guessing that, I mean, they've been playing how many rounds? 66 rounds on Train already. So, I mean, they're starting to feel like some new tactics, some old tactics maybe they brought up, some like all the clutch rounds. So Train is definitely going to be in favor of Na'Vi, and the odds from Betway is starting to get me why.
Okay, perhaps. But I mean, let's also not forget a team that have proven they do their homework. We saw that on their T-side of Cash, and they've just got a fresh previous day example of 66 rounds of how Train goes for Na'Vi. That's something to consider. I think it sounds like our casters are ready though, so let's jump on in and enjoy another delightful Counter-Strike treat. Space Soldiers versus Na'Vi, and it's casted by none other than Anders and Samra.
Thank you very much, Alex, you spicy man. I definitely appreciate it. It is going to be interesting here on Train for a bit of a potential win for Na'Vi. Space Soldiers, a bit of an unknown quantity, but they are looking good.
Yeah, they're monsters. I mean, they've already had just a massive upset. Their first day, well, their first day was yesterday. It's not like we're on the third day here. We're only in the second. But they beat SK 16-14. They beat SK. That is a statement right there. That's putting people on notice. Like, by the way, we'll only go ahead and take on one of the very best teams in the world and win. So that's got to get you excited for a match like this. Na'Vi, definitely not your most consistent team that you've been watching lately. Not the best by any stretch. And so I think Space Soldiers, if Na'Vi underestimate them, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. And already it's a trade action on the B site. Brown Halls, and what is that shot from Flamey?
Well, that should obviously be illegal. Flamey getting that kill ridiculously. Major actually turning around and trying to see if he can hunt down Seized. And will at least be successful in that. So now we're back into a 3-on-3 after an initial spark over towards the B-bomb site. We'll see. Guardian is moving up quite aggressively towards main. Is he going to go and check and find if anyone is there? It seems like it. This is potentially dangerous. If they attack B just when he's pushed in there, he's going to be quite far away. But now it seems like they've got more or less things stabilized. Very interesting.
Yeah, and plenty of time left as well. It's not like they're pressed here. It's not like there's 20 seconds left and they're going to have to make a snap decision. They can take their time, walk around the map. 50 seconds left. And things are looking up here for Space Soldiers. They even have that USP on the man himself. Is he going to hit the headshot? There's a little bit of the jiggle peek, and he walks right into it, but somehow Guardian misses the shot, but he gets the fade away. What? Right on Xantares as well. Oh, it was looking so good there for a second, but Guardian just had to ruin him.
How do you even hit a shot like that? This is unbelievable. Calyx is going to be going down. Major, alone, 1 versus 3, 20 seconds as well. At least he's stolen the USP and he had the grenade. He's going to try and fake it with 15 seconds left. It seems like such a mad idea. Surely Na'Vi will be wise to this. The grenade is in, and they did actually rotate out a C connector, but he can't fake the bomb any longer, so he just has to plant. He's going to try anyway and gets run over by Guardian. Man, both Flamey and Guardian need to be arrested for what we just saw in this round. Someone bring the Polizei, as they would say in Germany. It is Na'Vi with a 1-0 lead after, I still think, a pretty brave attempt from Space Soldiers. And I really like the restraint. After the initial engagement, 3-on-3, they really try to slow it down.
Thing is, Anders, Na'Vi are the police. What are you going to do about it? Where is your argument now?
Yeah. Who do you call when it's the police that are after you? That's a good question.
That's, I mean, right now, that was disgusting. It looked possible for a second until that Xantares shot, and then things just kind of ground to a halt for Space Soldiers. And they go for the Force. That's to be expected. There is a little bit of eco management going on here, with Engine only investing in the Deagle. So that's something to go off of. They want to try and manage a little bit that money. Na'Vi using quite a few nades very early on here, though, so now they're starting to get a little low on the utility. But a good spread here from Na'Vi. 3 on A, 2 on B, bit of a catch-all, not holding too close. One detail that I do like to see when you're dealing with an anti-eco. Do not want Na'Vi being at risk of running into those pistols close up, the Tech 9s. You want to try and look for the long-range fights.
Bit curious is the fact that Na'Vi don't actually have any more grenades. I mean, a round like this, I would try and have a Molotov or an HE or something if you're on the Na'Vi side to stop the B plant. Santara is hitting a kill. That's a big start. Paz going to follow it up, taking down Seized. And now it's a 3-on-3. The bomb is going to go down as well. Almost a follow-up kill. Edward very low on health after that. Sorry, Simple after that engagement. Major and Santara's now 3 versus 2. But that M4 on Santara's is getting me a bit worried. There's one kill. Looking for a second and almost getting the one on Guardian, who will close out the round in return and make sure Na'Vi can win it. That's expensive, but at least they don't give it away.
No, and it's good to see that Guardian, he is starting strong here for Na'Vi as well. Usually one of the key players here for the roster, but he's been a little bit on the rocks, a little bit shaky. Ever since Simple joined the roster, it's felt like Guardian's kind of been looking for what is my role? How do I play this? How do I play around Simple? A player who does actually require quite a bit of space, a lot of room to maneuver. But this tournament so far, yesterday, it was one of the most insanely long best-of-1 matches that we've seen. Na'Vi winning 36-34 over Cloud9. But Guardian had a lot of good rounds in that entire match long. He was hitting shots left and right. And so if he can actually get on point here early on versus Space Soldiers, things may be looking up for Na'Vi. Can't really call them the Ukrainian roster anymore. They're a bit more of the CIS mix.
They've got it all going on, yes, that's for sure. But yeah, it's one of the fun things about that region. I mean, they all sort of fit in. I think Guardian is the one who's had to put in the work to actually learn Russian at that level, which is pretty cool that he managed to do it. Pass will take a kill there, dropping Seized. Simple gets the instant refrag, smokes up and tries to play the edge of the smoke. That's a bit of a mind game, but the boost from Calyx on the other side means he wasn't ready for it. Right now, Space Soldiers, to me, look like just an incredibly fresh team. It's actually just a lot of fun watching them play, and they haven't even got rifles yet, so we'll see what they can do once they get to that part of the game. They've done some damage here to Na'Vi. If they get one more kill, and that would certainly be big.
Just in terms of making it expensive for Na'Vi, but again, Guardian pushing A main, or pushing alley that time. No, it was A main. My mistake. Major was over at alley with the bomb. Guardian just trying to get aggressive, and I like that. You need to try and make some plays here to destabilize Space Soldiers, not let them get comfortable. Major with the P250 up close might be able to find some joy here on the B site. He is going to catch one man in the back at least. Just go for it. Commit. He's looking for more information. Not quite going to find it, but he could collapse back on the A. And yes, he does hit the shot on Flamey. Flamey, the heart attack, realizing that his back was exposed.
But he saw the second player. That's why he's dodging it. Major's really playing positionally a really good game. And that's going to be... Oh, he cancels it for a second. Now he has to hold it down. He wasn't sure if the flank was coming in. He does get the bomb plant down. This is just really big plays coming out of Space Soldiers right now. 3 kills and a bomb plant in a round where you have absolutely nothing at all. That's such a big giveaway for Na'Vi, and Space Soldiers, they're going to have so much money in this upcoming third round. Na'Vi, on the other hand, they're going to have to spend pretty much their whole bank to make this work.
Yeah, these rounds have been very expensive for Na'Vi. Definitely not what they're looking for here at the beginning of the train. I mean, you've got players hitting shots. Yes, it's 7-0-0 right now for Guardian, who will have the money for that AWP. But that being said, you want to be keeping more players alive to get that economy rolling on train. You need the anti-rush nades to try and stop Space Soldiers from rushing either site. You need to have all of your utility, and you need to have the kits. We only have 2 kits bought up right now on Na'Vi. So it's a question of where Space Soldiers decide to take the fight. And it looks like, once again, going to be getting a bit of an early presence here in Brown Halls towards the B site.
This is where it gets really interesting. Great opportunity for Space Soldiers if they can collapse Na'Vi's economy this early on in the game. They have 4,000 on Guardian, and that's pretty much it on Na'Vi's side. So a win for Space Soldiers here would get them very close to just tying up the scoreline. On the T side of train as well, you've got to be very excited about that. Na'Vi holding quite far back on the both actually B and A bomb sites, so some good grenades could give them everything. Major manages to walk out. He sees Edward or Flamey down there as well, unable to pick up the kill, but Paz will return the favor. Can they get some good grenades in? Walking right in, Santaris going for the long range spray and nearly gets a double. Edward instead with the return. 2 kills for either team here, and the bomb is down.
Yeah, bomb is down. Still good utility for both teams. Paz with the lurk. Instantly traded, though. Excellent work there by Simple, the hero. Managing to get in there in time, bring this back to a 2-on-2, but he loses his teammate. In the meantime, that op is still on play on Engine. That's 1 big kill for Engine. This makes life so difficult now for Simple. He doesn't have a smoke. It's only the incendiary. He's going to be able to pick up the kill. Now can he get the defuse? He has no idea. And he's actually roasting on his own nade. Everything is falling apart here in this round for Na'Vi.
Engine trying to make his escape. Bomb is about to go off, and that will take Simple and Engine with him as well. Still a really big win for Space Soldiers. They don't, I mean, they probably do care about losing all the rifles, but not nearly as much as Na'Vi do. They're back to nearly nothing here, and just going to have to take a deep breath and zone out this round a bit. Oh, the hero AWP pickup from Guardian. This is ridiculous. He has got 7-0-1. But what a risk to be taking here.
Let's go. It's going to take monster plays to get them going in this round. We've seen the hero op be effective so far this tournament. Might as well see it again here, Guardian. I like it from Guardian, though. He's like, if you guys are going to be so aggressive in Brown Halls early on in the round, I might as well take the op over here and see if I can't find a pick. They haven't seen this yet, and sure enough, he hits the shot. Wallbang onto Major, down to 20 HP, and he will get the follow-up. Both him and Seized coming through big here for Na'Vi in this eco round. Well, 4 spy round if you include the AWP and the M4 along with the pistols.
This is maddening if you're Space Soldiers. Now at least they know what they're up against. The real problem is they don't have the utility to zone out Guardian. There's 1 smoke that's going to allow them down on the sidewalk, but they need many more grenades to stop him from putting this AWP into play. Oh, what a jump off the ladder. Engine gets the kill on Simple. That's really nice movement. And now second smoke does come up, making sure they can get the cross onto the bomb side. Flamey from the high ground taking down Engine. It leaves Paz and Santaris in a 2 versus 3, and Guardian has moved very close with the AWP. Can't easily scope from this position, and the quick flick not going to be working out for him. Paz takes him down. Now fighting 2 angles at the same time, trying to make his way back. He takes down the next kill, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Flamey versus Paz. Can he make this work?
That bomb is ticking away, though, Anders. There isn't a whole lot of time here. And I think he was close enough to hear the footsteps, and so that's some information gained for Paz. He's holding a close angle. This is so tough for Flamey, and it's looking like Flamey's just going to pick up that AWP and try and make a run for it, but it wasn't quick enough. Very well played here by Space Soldiers, surviving Navi's gambit to go for that hero AWP. Guardian did the best that he could, hits 2 shots back-to-back. He doesn't get the kill on Major, but he does hit the shot here on the follow-up on Calyx. It just wasn't enough for Na'Vi. And Space Soldiers 1 round closer to tying this up. It's 3-2 for Na'Vi, but Na'Vi with the hard eco, and I know you're happy to see what they're going for here, Anders.
Yes, the triple HE. Although one of them hilariously gets denied, as he did have the pin pull just going to explode as he dies. Major opening up and actually doing a fantastic jump. Calix as well there. Engine with the final kill. That's going to tie up the scoreline at 3-3. And now with the gamble earlier, I mean, they can buy in this round, but it's such a miserable buy. It's M4s and 2 smokes, no defuse kits, and that's it. That's what they have. Man, Na'Vi are being put to the test by Space Soldiers. Who would have seen it coming?
Well, after yesterday's match versus Cloud9, I wonder a little bit, you know, just with how much difficulty Na'Vi had in actually ending that game.
That's Space Soldiers' first game.
It's Space Soldiers' first game, man. 16-14 versus SK. That is unreal. So sick. What a performance here from Space Soldiers in Cologne. And if they were to make it out of the groups, actually play on that stage, a dream come true for these players.
Oh, absolutely. But I would say right now they're looking in prime position to do that. Unlike a bunch of the other sort of more established teams that we've seen at this tournament, these guys are actually looking like they have a real plan and they look like they're really good at following through. So, yeah, right now it's just quite exciting to witness. 7th round here. Space Soldiers have lost Engine. That was Guardian picking up the kill. But now no more grenades at all on Na'Vi. Let's see if the team can actually manage to execute here on the T side. Some good grenades to force Na'Vi back from that forward position. The bomb is making its way. It looks like back down towards main.
Still a very measured pace coming in here from Space Soldiers. Making good use of the clock. Not really running in. And they're gonna start picking up on this perhaps because there's just no nades here left for Na'Vi, as you pointed out. But with no smokes to buy more time, no incendiaries, no anti-flashes, nothing coming in from Na'Vi, Space Soldiers, they have the edge. It's about taking advantage of it now. They still have a decent nade count. You'd like to see Xantares get a little bit of support, but it doesn't really matter. He's gonna step out and win a duel straight up versus Flamey, and he's drawing so much attention to this B site now.
Yeah, a lot of trouble on the A side now. Edward doing his best, but he's going to get zoned out. Will be a refrag for Simple, and also C's chiming in. Great job from Na'Vi, really switching the angle of fire there. Both people picking out at the same time. With 9 seconds left here, no chance at all for pass. He's going to be going down. That will give Na'Vi a 4th round, only losing 2 players as well. That has to feel pretty good for them right now. They need to start building the CT economy. They want to invest into the AWP later on for Guardian as well, so yeah, strong foundation is what they need to make that work.
And some good discipline, though.
Yeah.
Some good discipline from Na'Vi, not to over-rotate towards B once Xantares gets out there alone. They realize very quickly he's alone, and they still keep that defense solid on the A site. I think that's what ends up costing Space Soldiers in the end.
Oh, grenade right in Engine's face. Definitely a bit annoying. Has the AWP though, whereas Guardian does not have his. Na'Vi with more utility in this round. It should make for some easier defense and maybe even more importantly on train, easier retakes.
Now you can see they're actually pacing it out. They're realizing that Space Soldiers, a bit of a slow, measured approach from them. Highly structured, and so they just aren't committing any nades at the beginning. Anti-rush nades? No, what are those? Still, Calix gonna find the first headshot, and there's the big spray coming in from Dennis. 2 kills for him, brings it back to a 3-on-3 and deals tremendous damage to the two other players here for Space Soldiers. And that just turns into cleanup duty for the rest of Na'Vi. Very solid hold in the end. It could have gotten a whole lot more messy than that if C's didn't get the 2 kills at the start.
Yeah, imagine the first guy and gets killed from the train, and the next guy, and so he obviously calls in and says he's on top of the train, but then he's actually falling off the train. Like, that's very hard to communicate if you're running through the smoke. You know, your teammates are yelling at you saying he's on top of, oh, he's falling off the train as well. Like, you know, where do you position your crosshair?
Yeah.
That's an interesting move, potentially very risky as well, because once you're mid-air, anything can happen. But back to pistols for the Space Soldiers team. We'll see what happens now. Looks like sees a bit of a cleanup duty at the UMP. Suddenly things are looking much better for Na'Vi. They seem to have stabilized from the early game where they were caught a bit off guard, I think, by the pace of Space Soldiers. It's definitely looking better right now. Surviving this round, I think, with 4 members intact. Calix has just got a pistol, and he's going to be going down to Edward. Seized with a triple at the end, and now the money is starting to build a bit here for the Na'Vi team.
Yeah, exactly, and I love to see this from Seized. Going aggressive with the UMP, But that also just goes towards guaranteeing the AWP. We saw in the anti-ecos yesterday that Na'Vi, I mean, this is obvious. They have Seize, Simple, and Guardian. All three of them can op. Flamey loves to go for this Guard 20. Expensive rifles, right? Whoa, what happens, however, is a bit interesting. They actually go straight for the double AWP. We saw a lot of this from them yesterday, but for Seize to use it in regulation, he's taking all that money he made from the last round with all those UMP kills, 3 UMP kills plus the win bonus. It's pretty much an AWP right there. Why not Seized? Okay. This might catch Space Soldiers off guard.
Still so much time left. This is where I'd love to see just a bit of creativity coming out of Space Soldiers. Similar peak from Guardian that we saw yesterday worked very well against Cloud9. Very hard to stop as well, because when you don't have control of Pop Dog because of the smoke that's over there, he's a hard man to challenge, and he's got the backup of Flamey down here. Definitely really frustrating.
That was frustrating for Automatic. Felt like he was the one who was getting roasted most of the time. And well, Flamey steps in, but Engine is there to trade. Guardian, though, strikes right back. Drops Paz, and it's a 2-man advantage now for Na'Vi. 50 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like they're going to try and commit to this. Space Soldiers. Engine pressing forward on the A side. Guardian there to greet him with the headshot. Major, the last man alive, and nowhere near the bomb. 35 seconds left to contemplate life. The meaning of, how does one defeat Na'Vi? How does one kill?
Certainly,
can't be killed?
Part of the answer is shutting down Guardian, because he's slightly out of control at this point in time. He's got 13-3 and 3 as a scoreline. That's very bad news if you're playing Na'Vi and he's the one who's turned up. Simple's there as well. I mean, yeah, this is a bit of a problem for Space Soldiers. I was kind of hoping they had some more executes lying around that they could try and show us. I especially liked some of the rounds where they tried to sneak up sort of high ground on B without too much of a signal. That sort of stuff could be very interesting, but obviously when you're playing against double AWP, that's a huge risk. So maybe now just the default B execute, you know, get the smokes in, get the bomb down quick, and see what you can do.
Major's committed to this round. I don't think the rest of them are. So this is going to be Major kind of taking a bit of a sacrifice here. We have the Russian AK in play.
You say that from the last round, didn't you?
Oh, shit, you're right, of course. I was like, but he has no money. Obviously he has no money if he survived the last round. All right.
Yeah, but the real thing is then, you know, if he dies in this round, it gets a bit tricky, right?
Yeah, then it's going to be Tech 9. He's just going to be stuck on a Tech 9 when his teammates are going to be buying up. Through the smoke. I mean, Guardian, this would be... He's actually committing the incendiary. It doesn't work. Does it spread? I think it overshot. Doesn't matter. Catches him boosting, and now they definitely know that there's a second man behind the, whatever it is, filing cabinet, electric box.
Yeah. Guardian going to fall back from that. No real reason to stick around. That is, sadly, the armor gone for Major, so if they could get this AK to Calyx or Paz instead, probably be preferable. But, so far, no such luck. All the kills matter still if you're on Space Soldiers' team. Like, you still want to do as much damage as you can. The Na'Vi economy is pretty good, but not out of control yet by any means. So a couple of kills in a round like this really go a long way to helping you out later. Engine will get one of them at least. A second one is required. If they only get the one, it's not quite good enough here. Pass goes down, and Engine hiding inside of the smoke, trying to sneak his way out. Flamey's got no idea, but he will discover him as soon as he falls off the train. 8-3 as a scoreline in favor of Na'Vi. Top fragging, still Guardian with 14 kills. And the money, the problem is when you only get one kill, that just helps Na'Vi so much. Now they can afford to lose a round and still have a perfect buy in the next one. They got the double up rolling, and Space Soldiers with, I think, a tactical timeout and enough money to buy.
Whew. Time to discuss and try to perhaps go for the rush. The thing is that at this point, Na'Vi, they're definitely going to be talking over all of these options, right? They can actually get their coach's input during the timeout. Yeah, there's 3 left, 3 tactical timeouts left here for Space Soldiers. But if you decide to go for the rush now, it's almost like Na'Vi could be just ready and waiting for you, but then do you want Na'Vi to have the anti-rush nades ready and waiting as well? We need to see some kind of change of pace coming in here, though, from Space Soldiers, because the slow and measured approach, it really feels like Na'Vi now, if Guardian feels like, oh, I have all the space in the world to just kind of work around the map, take shots over towards Brown Halls, take shots over towards Alley, he's going to be in his comfort zone. You need to kind of put some pressure on Na'Vi now, and one way to do that is to go for some kind of explosive play very early on in the round. Change up the pace.
Yeah, it would be interesting, especially if they can get that mid-A bomb site smoke and then flash their way through and sort of come charging in. Right now, it's pretty much evident that if you leave space for Guardian to move around and he's not flashed or smoked out, he's going to hit all his shots. Like, it just seems like one of those days, and that means you just can't give him the space. You have to rush him down and kill him, or get the bomb plant down and just try and hold the bomb and hope he doesn't show up and kill everybody. You know, like it's a pretty hardcore challenge that they've got in their hands right now, Space Soldiers. And
I gotta say though, I'm pretty happy to see that both Guardian and Skadoodle are showing good form this tournament. So it feels like it's been a long time since we've been able to say that about both at the same time, right? Where it's like, oh, they're both actually pretty effective with the op right now. Hell, what, 2 years ago, that was the discussion. I was like, who's the best opera in the world, Guardian or Ska? So quite a bit of time since then.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think that even that debate only lasted like a pretty short while, right? It was like...
Oh, yeah, there was no debate. It was Guardian all the way. It was just Moses who was trying to keep this pipe dream alive, you know, like, but Skadoodle, North America. You know, North America hadn't crushed his soul yet. So,
listen, I still see him cheering for Liquid every once in a while.
Yeah, he was getting pretty excited for them at the major qualifier, that's for sure. That last match, man, it was you could feel the agony through the screen.
Roller coaster ride of emotion there. I don't blame it. I actually think North American Counter-Strike is really fun. So I just wish we get like one perfect team where everything works out. 8-3, and we're moving into the 12th round after a bit of a break there. Double AWP still in play, but there is the one on Engine as well. We saw in some of the games yesterday that he was actually hitting some crazy shots, so I'd love to see that. Maybe that's the way to go about it. Challenge Guardian, win this fight against him, and then you're good to go. They're going to go for a bit of a double peek. He actually makes it back and through the smoke as well. He's allowed to escape.
Yeah, that's incredible, actually. With 2 players there. Essentially, they were expecting some rifle to be there to back up Guardian. You know, not expecting him to be that crazy. Out alone, pushing alley, no backup, no rifle. Instead, it's seized with the AWP over on B, catching Xanteras trying to make the play. So man advantage now for Na'Vi in the round. They get the opening kill, but there's still a minute left on this clock. And Space Soldiers, they're not done yet trying to hunt. Only problem is if you keep playing around over there, Guardian will find you. A main is his domain. He showed that yesterday.
45 seconds. That isn't even my biggest concern. It's the fact that they still only have 2 smokes. So even if you push onto the site here and get the bomb down and don't lose anybody, you can't hold that C connector forever. Guardian actually almost goes down. Major wants to fight, but he's not quite sure how many people are there. Engine goes down, seized with a pick, and again, taking down Calyx. And that leaves Paz as Major also fell on the other side. Somehow Guardian is allowed to live once again. And Paz just trying to fight and do something here as a quad kill for Seized. 9-3 scoreline. Now Navi's economy is just out of control.
Yeah, that's a confidence building round for Seized right there. Feel good moment for him, no doubt. And yeah, they've just got money for days. They're set. They've even got, who is that? That's Edward. 12,000 after buying. Yeah. This is Na'Vi in their comfort zone. And on CT side, Train as well. They're up to 9-3. Even if this ends 9-6, they aren't going to be feeling too poorly about it, Na'Vi. Oh, here's the aggression pays off. Unbelievable. Edward with 2 kills. Couldn't get the 3rd, and sure enough, he delivers. I'm getting flashbacks to yesterday, Anders. Everybody's getting their round where they just get the shine. Edward with the quad. Not going to get the ace, though. Simple. You dog. You robbed him.
That just kills. I mean, obviously this was supposed to be a bit of a faster execute where you had pop dot control, and then you could sort of throw some grenades, and you could see in the minimap even here they were set up for the smokes on the other side by T-spawn, and then 3 people just go down and pop. It's just like, well, I guess that just isn't going to happen, is it? No more. 10-3 moving into the 14th round. I was so excited for Space Soldiers early on because they looked so determined, and they looked like they had a really good follow-up on their calls, which is actually a problem. Oh, see, he's standing in the fire to try and get that shot. A lot of teams have this problem where you can tell they have a plan, but you can also tell that like 3 out of 5 of the players sort of hesitate in the middle of the execute, and that just cost you the round. Guardian with a flick through the smoke on Engine. This is absolutely ridiculous. It looked to me like Space Soldiers didn't have that problem. Like they, you know, they just followed through. Now,
they would commit.
Now there's a lot more hesitation in their step, you can tell, and that can be a problem.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, they have been showing that they can be quite patient, and oh, agony. For a second, I thought there is that unwritten rule where if you don't manage to kill the guy within the first second, that you're spraying at him in the back, that he whips around and gets the headshot. So I thought for a second it was going to happen in Simple there.
Risky stuff. But now complete loss of map control for Space Soldiers. They can tell themselves they can get into the B-bomb side, but they know there's a wall of CTs waiting on the other side. And grenades too, apparently. Zentara's down and out. Major gets rocked as well. That was by Flamian. Pass. A lot of battles waiting for him here.
IHGs are sailing a bit far. It's just the nades they can fully commit here, Na'Vi. They don't have to worry, although he keeps hitting headshots like this. Paz is definitely making this interesting. Don't know if he got spotted there by Guardian, but Guardian is pressing forward inch by inch. And there will be the follow-up shot, but it's not going to happen. Seized too quick with that AWP. I am glad to see Seized coming back into his own with the AWP. Because right when right when Simple, you know, joined the roster, I felt like Seized was really starting to get into his comfort zone with the opping, that secondary opper on the team. You know, everything kind of going Seized's way, and then things just got shaken up so much. Glad to see that he's coming back into it, and he's actually able to use that sniper rifle and show us what he's capable of again.
11-3, and the 15th round about to commence. Space Soldiers, they had me excited. They won 3 in a row, and that was the first round they won was the rightful round, so that's always a great sign. You win 3 like that, you know, you tie up the scoreline 3-3. Na'Vi's economy is broken, everything is looking good, and Na'Vi just didn't care. They buy the hero orb, and then boom, they just bounce right back in the game.
Well, there we go, once again. Oh, I like that. Great patience. And it pays off. He gets the bomb delivered to him.
This is falling apart, almost shooting his teammate just because he's so damn excited. Pass and Major wondering, wasn't someone bringing the bomb back here? Major now in a 1 versus 4, and not sure if there's any good way out of this except maybe death. Seized will go down at the end, but yeah, another long 1vx situation here for Space Soldiers. Seems to have been a lot of them in this first half. As Flamey takes him down, the first half is going to finish 12-3 in favor of Na'Vi, looking very much like a victory for them here on Train, but it isn't done yet. We'll see what happens in the second half. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Infinite power.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here's second half coming up. Space Soldiers looking, I think understandably so, just a bit deflated. They got 3 rounds in the first half. They got them in a row, and that was tying up the scoreline 3-3. Then they lost all the rest.
But they're following the words of the memo that went out before last week and this week. You know, all halves have to end either 12-3 or 13-2. You know, there's no two ways about it. And now Space Soldiers will start their comeback. They'll win the pistol. They'll get up to maybe double digits.
If you look at the Betway odds, though, it's clear the community were definitely behind Na'Vi, thinking that you'd get a pretty good payback if Space Soldiers won this. Which, honestly, I mean, on day one beating SK, you wouldn't have been such a maniac to go for this bet. Sebastian won game. Na'Vi certainly have been looking, shaky in the past, months or so. So I can't really blame people for maybe trying that. Calyx is waiting down here by Ivy, and if they win this round, Space Soldiers maybe. You could see what they have to offer on the CT side. If they don't, it's going to be a real tough engine, though. Starting off with a good kill, taking down Edward, making it a 5 versus 4. And now looks like Na'Vi just going to go back and rethink everything. They've got 2 smokes and a Molotov, though, suggesting that they want to execute somewhere. Or someone.
Someone, too. You can kind of throw them in as a bargain. You get 2 executes. You get 2 executes. You get 1 kill for free. They're just taking a lot of damage on Engine and Calyx, so they're gonna have to be careful. But right now they're holding way back Space Soldiers. Textbook stuff from them, not wanting to get too close to those Glocks, wanting to abuse the fact that they get the one-shot headshot pretty much from across the map. And so there isn't a whole lot to talk about here on Space Soldiers' side. There's no reason for them to play aggressive. They should just be waiting to put some shots in and then get that retake going. One concern is that they don't have a kit. Yeah, we can kind of knock them for that. That's about it.
It could be a problem later on. Major, though, it's a good headshot. Simple will get the 1 reply at least. The bomb is going to be planted here. And here's the real issue. Seized has a Molotov, but there's no smoke on Space Soldiers, so a 10-second defuse inside of that grenade just won't be easy. He's on the high ground, ready and waiting for it. This is an absolute classic on train, and it could come back to haunt Space Soldiers right now. Actually,
bomb isn't planted for him, though, Anders. The bomb is not planted for him. And I don't know if he knows this. Exactly. This is a disaster. He could actually stick the whole thing. No way. Unbelievable. He gets the whole defuse, and there's not a damn thing Seas can do to stop it. What?
That might be one of the worst communication errors we've seen in just a very long time. Because Seized obviously did not know about that. No. He tosses in the grenade and is saying, "This is smooth sailing, boys. I'm just going to chill out here and it'll all be good. Just any second now, we've won the round." What do you say? The bomb's in... What is that?
What? And now, well, hey, nope. Remember I said that. Space Soldiers had to win the pistol. They had to keep that fight alive. So 12-4, and really just a real facepalm moment there for Na'Vi, I think. And not even for Seized. He did everything right.
Look, I didn't even realize the bomb was not there because I just saw Seized with the Molotov and I think, I know what's next. I know how this works. It's fine. Yep. For sure, this is part of the plan. It would have worked as well. No kit, no smoke. So that's literally game over when that happens. Like, there's nothing Space Soldiers can do. In that 1v2, they lose the game, but at least lose the map.
Unbelievable.
I can't believe it.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Strange day in the simulation, isn't it? Major ends up going down fairly early on, but Centaurus will get a refrag at least. The bomb is down again for Na'Vi, so that's pretty big news.
Yeah.
They didn't even really buy anything in this round, and still they managed to put that down. Simple, 1 versus 4, and can't really stop this defuse at all. Maybe get a kill on someone, though. That would be potentially worth it.
Well, once again, they're sticking to this plan. I mean, that's insanity, actually. They don't even have a kit in this round.
I was going to say, I really want someone to buy a kit now.
Yeah, like, you've got the money. You don't even need to worry about the guy upstairs. Just make sure that at least one of you has a kit now for the buy round. Because back-to-back bomb plants, plus a few kills in the first one, means that Space Soldiers should have a halfway decent buy going into the 19th, or the 18th, rather. Oh, is this a tactical timeout? No, never mind. They're staying pretty long on the camera. And yes, 3 kits picked up now for Space Soldiers. No AWP, sadly, but a pretty healthy buy, all things considered. Look at that nade count. They've got everything here, Space Soldiers.
Yeah, but Guardi and the rest have even more. They have the AWP and all the grenades they could possibly need. Interesting double peek, but Calyx seems to have got himself stuck in this corner. Is he going to be able to make his way out? It's a nice shot taking down Edward. Really well read from Calyx. You can see that he knew that if he was going to make the jump, he would go down immediately. That's just a really good job on his part.
Where's the follow-up spray through the smoke from Edward's teammates, though? How does he get out of there intact?
Yeah, good question.
He had 16 HP, 15 HP. But there's that aggression. We didn't really see too much quick-paced aggression out of Space Soldiers on the T side, but on CT side, they're showing that they're willing to take some risks, take the fight. There's that flash, turns away, not going to happen. Paz puts his team up 2 kills in this round. The wallbang attempt coming in as well from Xantares, why not? 3 players stacked at A main though, and Guardian is still alive, and sure enough, Guardian is still alive at that AWP, and so he remains a threat.
Forcing back Paz, who was in the pop dog area, but he's still around and lingering. That could be a big problem for Na'Vi if they want to try and push this. Bit of a fight going on down towards the back end of the bomb site. Trying to see if he can get the shot here. Guardian not connecting yet. Now 30 seconds, and again, that pop dog position. Paz actually rotated all the way around. That's a bit of a risk. I would have thought he would have wanted to stick around there. Guardian gets a kill. They lose Simple. Seized is in here waiting. They have 2 Molotovs to get rid of Seized. If he's the last one left, that's no good at all. But Guardian is doing just an enormous amount of work here. Leaving it now in a 2-on-2. He's got the triple, looking for the quad. He's going to get that as well. And Seized will take down Major. And Na'Vi turned around in their favor and making it look easy in what was, what, a 3v5?
Yeah, it's unreal. Guardian is here to play.
21 kills and 5 deaths.
Yeah, Guardian is here to play. This is just like that round from Ska earlier on Cobblestone. You know, just 1 kill lining up, one after the other, just making it look so easy. Guardian perfectly capable of doing the same. And that's going to put Space Soldiers on the ropes. It's all or nothing now for Space Soldiers in this map. They force up. They've got the 3 rifles, 2 SMGs, horrible nade count, and no kits. Whereas Na'Vi, they should have everything they need here, and already Flamey lurking his way through. He has been spotted, though. Tries to go for the spray, but it's not going to be good enough. Calyx hits a headshot, and a man advantage for Space Soldiers. That hasn't deterred Major, though. He will go for the spray and pick up 1, but Guardian is there to trade.
Three-man stack in the A site still. Equipment right now for Space Soldiers is very questionable. Once again, we're in a position where they have no defuse kits. That's always a bit of a sign of worry, but even more than that, it's the lack of grenades. Na'Vi, even though they have a man less, because of the superior grenade situation, they can actually make a pretty big impact if they can take down Xantares on this map. And he's holding that off-angle position down here. It's actually used very commonly, but that doesn't really matter. It's still incredibly hard to check. He's falled back a little bit now. Firing that gun. Are they going to realize there's the entry from Simple? That's all they needed. Now it's going to be a really difficult retake for Space Soldiers. They have no grenade to do this with. 1 Molotov on Calyx, but that isn't good enough.
Oh, that smoke going down as well. It's going to deter things, and they have a serious decision to make now, Space Soldiers. Do they commit to this? And it looks like they're going to go for it, but an instant trade, 1 for 1. And Guardian's still alive with the AWP at the back line. The Molotov has been used. Anders and Guardian reign supreme. Another shot from him. And it's all on Engine. 1v2. Spots Guardian. He knew where he was coming from in any case. He has no idea where Seized is holding from, however. Needs to figure that out fairly quick. And he will catch Guardian in the open, but that doesn't matter. Guardian's just too damn quick. 3 kills in the round, putting Na'Vi up to 14 rounds.
Yeah, and Seized also had a Molotov, and the bomb was planted for him this time, so definite improvements on the Na'Vi side.
I bet you he checked.
Yeah.
Before going up, he's like, wait. Okay, good.
That actually is one of the most hilarious screw-ups I've seen in a while from a team. That's just so funny. I hope someone got a clip of that and put it on social media, because that was definitely just a good time. 14-5. Pistols back on Space Soldiers. A missed opportunity there from Guardian. He hasn't missed many of them. Edward will at least pick up a kill there, taking down Engine, and now they're going to collapse on the bomb site. Coming in from Main and Ivy. And Major and Xantares, not much they can do to withstand all of this. They just have pistols and no armor as well.
I felt a little bit like the death of 1,000 cuts there for Simple. Just kept getting peaked with that P250, and well, Xantares takes pity and ends it quick. Man advantage here for Na'Vi, but this is still a bit touch and go. Edward, full utility on him, and he's only got 6 HP left. But his teammates are still doing work. Another shot coming through here for Guardian. And, well, there we have it. Match point. 10 of them for Na'Vi.
Bit silly in this round for Na'Vi not to be using more of the utility.
Agreed.
I mean, they could have just grenaded those players down pretty quick, but
That's what you're thinking when you see Edward with 6 HP and all of the nades. It's like, okay, maybe we should use some of those grenades instead of just looking for duels versus pistols that can one-shot you up close.
25-3-5, and we're moving into the 21st round here. That was the score for Guardian that you just heard. 25-5. Please, someone put an end to this ridiculous kill-death ratio. Seems like Space Soldiers are just not really finding the rhythm at the moment. Flamey and Edward most certainly are, though. Trading 2 for 1. Centaurus down. Flamey going, Edward will be going down next, but still a 2-on-3 here. Major and Calix left, and how can you win this round back? Good headshot to start off was certainly needed. Now, can Navi get the bomb down?
Well, the question is, they're keeping this really close in this round, Space Soldiers, refusing to say die, but there's the shot on the Calix. As I say that, Simple will catch him, and it's on Major. 1v2. They have no idea that he's holding this close until now. He finds the first shot and looking for the spray on the second. Nearly picks it up. Simple just going to turn tail and run, however. Doesn't need to take that fight in his eyes. And the mind games. This is dirty.
Very hard to Major to figure out. There's almost no sort of wrong or right way of playing this. He's just going to stick around, might get the perfect angle. Long range fight there against Simple. So he read the situation perfectly. Simple is on 1 health. But he's got the AK-47, so Major can still lose this if things go bad.
Oh, stomping. He's just stomping onto the site right now, and there it is. Simple was ready for it, but Major still hitting the headshot in the end. Bit sloppy there from Na'Vi with the match point. Felt like they could have got that under lock fairly quickly there, but instead it means that they are going to be in a bit of an awkward spot economically. As the bomb gets defused, do they go for the force buy or should they just go for a half buy, Anders?
I think they're going to go for it.
You think they go for the force?
Yeah, they've got three people who can buy AKs, and they feel so fired up right now. I think they think, you know, we should have probably won that. Let's just keep buying. I mean, the other side of the coin is Space Soldiers. They only survive with 1 member, so their economy is also. I mean, not that they need to save money for later, but just that, you know, they still have the UAP from us and limited grenades. So I actually think Na'Vi have a better buy anyway than what Space Soldiers do at the moment. We'll see how it plays out here. If they can do a bit more to come back in this game and put some more rounds on the board. The full comeback is just very far away right now.
Yep. Oh. There's a chance, and it doesn't work out for Guardian. He might get caught in the belt. Yep, exactly. Paz pushing aggressive. And this time, Guardian finally punished for playing alone, solo, and the follow-up from Paz as well. Gonna get the wall bang. May have been able to take a little bit more time to line that shot up, but it doesn't matter. He's doing tremendous damage, and he even gets a quad. No, 3. Gets the final one.
Indeed, Cease is still doing a bit out here. Not getting any help from Simple in this round, so still a long ways away. That was a bit sloppy from Guardian, you know. I would have thought he would have waited to take that peek towards the E-box until his teammates and Pop Dog were out. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he could have just stayed on the left-hand side of that wall and it would have all been fine.
Yeah, he kind of exposed himself to the flank there for sure. Just feeling it.
Surely just go for the plant here if you're seized. Like, just get the money bonus, because you're not going to have any money in the next round, and your round loss bonus is not big enough, so just try and build something. He's not going to do that. Calix will take him down instead. And that will be 15-7. So some things, not many, but a few things are starting to look up here for Space Soldiers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Not many, but they've still got a long way to go. But still, if Paz can start making plays like this, that was a fine work. You hit 4 shots in a row, even if one of them right through the door jam. That's frustrating. I mean, that does force Na'Vi with no bomb plant to go for a pretty hard eco here. Very limited. Only seized really with the flash grenade. Everybody else kind of going P250 Deagle. No Kevlar picked up. Hardly anything to speak of. And Xantares and Major just kind of going to work. Major will get caught, however, in the open. And so an easy shot there and an AK recovered. Whose is it? Who did he pick? Whose AK did he pick up? You don't get to see.
Seized. Again, just a question of trying to get the bomb plant down right now. Economic damage, I think, is kind of doesn't really matter right now for Space Soldiers. I mean, maybe they're going to lose some grenades if you get a lot of kills here, but they're not so worried about that, I think.
Right, somebody's all the way back in T-spawn. Who is that? What is Engine doing?
I mean, surely no one will look for this. if Seized comes back here, I guess he's covering a lot of the map off you, right? It can only be Pop Dog or B as long as he's there. So
I like it.
he's taken away the possibility that it could either be main or Ivy. So
And this is kind of giving it open. They do have a man covering Pop Dog and 2 players on the B site. Should be done lickety split here. Seized is finally going to go for the peek, and sure enough, man watching the angle. Xantares not going to miss the shot.
oh, he's just had in the corner. Looked very relaxing. A pause has come in for Na'Vi, so they are also realizing, listen, as far ahead as we are and as good as things seem to be looking right now, let's not fall into the age-old trap of suddenly being in overtime and losing the game, you know. That would be heartbreaking if you're Na'Vi here. So just make sure it ends before Space Soldiers get too much of a momentum going.
Do they go for a half buy here? I mean, they are kind of floating around 4,000, but if they go for AKs, it means they'll be somewhat limited on the nades. Whereas you go for a Tech 9 half buy rush B, you know, just see if you can swamp them, overwhelm them quick. And then you have your full buy. Guardian has got his AWP in the next round. Everybody's real happy, right? You know, cheering.
I still think Na'Vi is so confident they're just going to buy.
Yeah, I'm not. This is that kind of situation where I would just go for the half buy. Tech 9, Kevlar, handful of nades, and look to just be explosive.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
There we go. Perfect. Because then you have all the choices. Then you get to do what you want. Guardian in the next round will have his op.
Oh, UMPs too.
And let's see it. It's not going to be the B rush. But they are spreading out, looking to see if Space Soldiers are going to get be looking to have some fun anywhere. Oh, no, it's going to be a very quick A execute. Okay, I like this as well.
The wall of smokes, Pass is holding in front of it, so maybe he's going to stick around and fight. He's certainly got the Molotov to try and block them off, and as soon as he sees the smoke, he's going to throw it off towards Pop Dog. That's pretty good play. Want to do that to make sure that they don't get too much out of the smoke, so the bomb is actually making his way back into the white holes instead. That's pretty interesting. Now, can they make their way out? Already Edward's taking a bit of damage. Xantares definitely in a good position up here. Goes for a secondary spray. Pass will get the win. And Xantares gets 2 kills now down on the B bomb site where the bomb was rotating on in. Alex misses a chance to actually just straight win the round there. Flamey instead will take him down. Still a tough position for Na'Vi.
Yeah. Guardian. Not going to happen. Okay. Bomb has been planted, though. So there will be everything here for Na'Vi in the next round. If they want to go for double AWP, you know, let Seized and Guardian both op. Maybe find a pick somewhere. But the main thing here is that our Guardian will have his AWP, and that's really what you want right now if you're Na'Vi, considering the shots that he's been hitting all map long. Let it play around him. Let him create the space for your team. If you want to go for contact, having Guardian with the op could be a pretty good thing. Also to create the space, but here we go. 15-9, 6 rounds separating the teams. Space Soldiers, the one dream here, which is overtime. They can't get the match straight out. Na'Vi on match point. And there's the spread once again. 2 towards Alley. Flamey holding passive A main. And so that leaves Guardian. Yeah, here. Exactly. He's going to look for that Alley fight. He's so good here in this position. Boop.
Yes, indeed. Taking down Calyx. Causing a lot of trouble for Space Soldiers now. They've got a lot more angles to cover. And Paz has been actually, I think, playing a good game towards that E-box. This time it doesn't quite work out. Engine, who has been struggling apparently on train, actually not doing the best job that we've seen so far in the tournament for him. He's at 9 kills right now. But he picks up that one, bringing it back into a 3-on-4. Now Na'Vi, can they find the next breakthrough and close out this game? They just need 3 more kills, make that 2. As Xantares goes down, Engine and Major left. They're both on the same side of the map, but they can't really help each other out so easily. Seized, expecting to take a fight towards CT spawn, so he had his side turned to that angle for Major. Still in the game.
Well, they have a man working his way quickly out onto the B site right now. That's going to be Edward, and he's going to be in position to catch these guys completely off guard. Engine has no reason to believe that there's a man who's already out on this site. And so this is going to be it. Once he gets this kill, Edward, that ends it for Space Soldiers. What can Major possibly hope to do at that point? Oh, this is infuriating. As soon as that bomb gets planted, it's going to be lights out for whoever rotates CT. Sure enough, it's Major. Surprise. And there's the follow-up. Clean work. What job? What a job from Edward. And what a job from Na'Vi in the end. going for the half buy in the last round, guaranteeing the full buy in this one, and then just everything panning out perfectly. The picks, maintaining the man advantage, closing the map. And unfortunately, there will be no joy for Space Soldiers in this match. It's Na'Vi continuing their run.
I mean, it's kind of interesting that Space Soldiers even got up to 9 rounds, because that looked like they could have been completely shut down. So I'm a bit disappointed that they didn't get more than 3 in the first half, because it felt like maybe they could have had more of a buffer to work through, and maybe they could have shown us some more stuff. I feel like they got cheated a bit out of that in the first half especially, so a bit of a shame. But Na'Vi looking like a better and stronger team, which is definitely encouraging. And we'll see how they're going to do later on. We'll go to a quick break, and then we'll be back with the analyst segment. Stay with us.
This is TheFatRat.
The Pay Safeguard post-match breakdown.
Na'Vi continue to battle forward and get themselves another win under their belt, putting them 2-1, and now we do see little death's door knocking for the boys from Space Soldiers. Spectacular start, SK fell, but now another trip on their journey to the playoffs. I'm joined by none other than Mr. Chad Sponge Birchall and Anna Freiberg. It just sounds like I'm stuttering, but welcome once again. The Aussie and the Swede are going to be shedding some light on Train. Another time we get to see Na'Vi on Train, and this time a little quicker of an affair. Adam, how on earth did Na'Vi take such control of that game so early?
I'm saying the aggression they had at CT.
Right.
I mean, okay, Guardian. I mean, what a game he pulled off, right? Just
Sure.
Guardian, when he's on point, he's one of the best stoppers in the world. I really like the aggressive side he had. I mean, great shots here in the pistol, but like this, taking picks in B, even taking picks in T mid, Ivy, like all over the map. You never know when Guardian's gonna be there, right? And he's just gonna shut you down. Like, he got entries in T mid, he got entry in B. It's hard for Space Soldiers as a team to build up a game, like build up their tactics when Guardian is playing so well.
So this is, again, when it comes down to the risk-reward of aggressive plays, right? And Chad, I guess this is a prime example of when that aggression is rewarded.
Yeah, well, we talked about Space Soldiers probably going to be strat heavy again, and the way to defeat that is by having random pushes and having good timings and finding those spaces. And it happened time and time again for Na'Vi to be able to take that away from them, have flanks, get those frags, and make it very difficult to execute late round. For me, it looked very clear that Space Soldiers wanted to go with the cookie cutter approach of doing inside stuff early. That's where they won their first gun round, and the whole idea there is to draw another player inside. Na'Vi's reaction to that was, let's force buy. We'll play 2 players immediately off the back of that and fight you, because what you do is, if you go inside once, you might not draw that player immediately. You want to show tendencies to go inside, and Na'Vi just said, hey, we're not even going to let you have that tendency. We're going to take that away from you. Then they just dialed back, played the 1-4. If you wanted to do a hard out, if you were Space Soldiers, you were going to get shut down by the rifles. And all in all, really strong half from Na'Vi.
I mean, if you're looking for perhaps a little bit of a glimmer of hope from the Turkish side, is of course that of Zantares, once again putting in a showing worth talking about. His stats for not only this event, we brought them up before, he was like head and shoulders above the rest, but he's done it again here versus world-class opponents. Was that ever a question in your mind, is can he do that in an offline setting versus some of the world's best, or did you kind of know that was coming already?
I feel like he
kind of
can
locked in
obviously
now.
frag, as a player individually against anybody in the world. It's just within a system, right? I'm sure everybody's been on the receiving end of him in FPL just going nuts and hammering them home. But it's within the system if you can still be a star, and that's where you really shine and you can prove your worth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, as Chad said, playing in a team and still pulling it off, that's really what really matters, and especially against that top-tier teams like it is here in ESL Cologne.
Yeah, his story is something that I think is certainly something to talk about, just because it's another example. There are so many players with so many different varied paths that they've taken to this point where they stand in Cologne playing their favorite game for 250,000 and 12,000 of fans in that stadium. And his is that of just sticking to his region, being well regarded in the international community for someone that's very competent, bobbing those heads. And again, he's done it here versus the likes of Na'Vi, as you've said, against a player when on his best, one of the world's best AWPers. We're getting 2 of them coming back at the same time. Scar and Guardian are both back to those, we're not going to be doing those discussions of where are those names. They're back in full swing in my mind.
Guardian's one that I would have gone against, right? Like in the fact that he just got married. So you think that he'd be kind of distracted
Your
with that.
mind's elsewhere.
But it seems like the high of the happiness of that, and now, he's tied the knot and stuff, it seems like he's performing better than we've seen in a long time. Yeah. And this was always the caveat, I think, with Na'Vi, is that they have the star power, and it seems like they have all the pieces of the puzzle, but they're always like there's someone's misfiring, or maybe there's only one, they're on one cylinder. Yeah. Whereas so far, so good, I suppose. If Guardian can be the stable force, Simple and Flamey can rally around him, and then everyone else can fill in the gaps, because I think nowadays Edwards may be more of a supportive player. He just has to be a rock from time to time, and Seized is the in-game leader. He gets the bitch jobs, so someone has to do it.
All right, use your words, not mine, but yes, indeed, you do get to see more and more of Na'Vi because of that second win. They sit 2-1. We'll be seeing more of them, of course, as this group stage continues. A 3-day affair for us here in Cologne. And as we set our sights on our next game, I'm just going to turn to you, Adam. North, SK, you talked about it in the pre-show. You don't think North are going to be too affected by that optic loss?
No, as I don't think that SK will be against the Space Soldiers loss. I think this game will probably be the game of the day, in my eyes.
Good call.
Yeah, I'm thinking that North and SK will bring out the big guns now.
The big guns. There you go. You heard it from Freiberg himself. The big guns are coming up next after the break.